I never thought moving to the suburbs would be a terrifying experience. My husband and I were excited to leave the hustle and bustle of the city and raise our two young children in a quiet and safe neighborhood. But that all changed when we moved into our new home on the outskirts of town. The house itself was beautiful, with a large backyard and a spacious interior. The previous owners had left it in pristine condition, making it the perfect place to raise a family. We settled in quickly and started to get to know our new neighbors, who were all friendly and welcoming. But as the days went by, strange things started to happen. It started with small things, like objects being moved or misplaced, and strange noises coming from the walls. I brushed it off as the house just settling in, but my husband was convinced there was something more going on. One night, I woke up to the sound of whispering coming from outside our bedroom window. I got up to check, but there was no one there. My husband didn't hear it, and he thought I was just imagining things. But the whispers continued every night, getting louder and more persistent. As the days passed, I started to feel like I was being watched. Every time I looked out the window, I would see a figure standing in our backyard, but when I blinked, it would disappear. I tried to tell my husband, but he brushed it off as my imagination again. One evening, we had some friends over for dinner. As we were chatting and enjoying our meal, we heard a loud crash coming from the kitchen. When we went to investigate, we found all the cabinets and drawers wide open and the dishes and glasses shattered on the floor. It was as if someone had ransacked our kitchen. That was the final straw for my husband. He called in a paranormal investigator to check out our house. The investigator found nothing out of the ordinary, but he did mention that our house was built on an old burial ground. Suddenly, everything clicked into place. The strange noises, the whispers, and the figures I had been seeing were all connected to the burial ground. But that was just the beginning. As we continued to live in the house, the activity only got worse. Our children started having nightmares every night, and my husband and I would wake up with bruises and scratches on our bodies. The whispers turned into full-blown screams, and the figures became more and more visible. One day, I decided to do some research on the previous owners of the house. I discovered that they had a daughter who went missing a few years ago, and her body was never found. It was then that I realized that the whispers were coming from her, and she was trying to communicate with us. We decided to move out of the house, but the spirits were not ready to let us go. As we were packing, we found a hidden room in the basement. Inside, we found the body of the previous owner's daughter and a note that read, "I will never let anyone leave this house." We called the police, and they launched an investigation into the previous owners. It turns out they were involved in a cult and had sacrificed their own daughter in the house. They had been using the white noise from the burial ground to cover up their dark rituals. We were lucky to have escaped with our lives, but the experience still haunts us to this day. I never would have thought that a quiet suburban town could hold such dark secrets. And now, whenever I hear white noise, I am reminded of the horrors we faced in that house.